let's open a special meeting of the DuBois County Council to hear the invitation for Wabash Valley Foods. We'll start out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, like I said here, we want to hear we're going to put on a little presentation for us for the bacon of Wabash Valley Foods. So yes, Bill, are you going to listen?
Sure. Thank you, Mike.
This is Bill Kaiser from
Dennis, thank you. I appreciate, we're very grateful for the opportunity to present and talk about this really tremendous economic development project. Before I got started, just so you know who's in the room, if you guys want to introduce yourself real quickly.
Yeah, I'll have the Wabash Valley folks introduce themselves, and then Amy can introduce herself. My name's Andy Sager. I'm our Chief Financial Officer and Senior Vice President of Sales for Wabash Valley. I've been back at our family business for 13 years. I spent the first 11 years in New York and Chicago, and then I guess in the investment banking and private equity industry, and then found my way back home to Jasper.
Greg Nace. I handle day-to-day accounting and finance for Wabash Valley. Also from the area, grew up in Jasper. And after college, went away, lived in Indianapolis for about 10 years, various finance and accounting managerial positions. Made my way back home and have been at Wabash now for about 6 years.
I'm Murray Becker. I graduated from Heritage Hills High School. Went on to the University of Indianapolis, played basketball there. Then I finished at USI. I helped Grant with accounting and finance. I've only been here for 4 weeks, so I'm fairly new. So
We're having Murray hit the ground running.
Great. I'm Amy Cornell with Tyson Foods. I'm manager of state and local government relations, and I work in an 8-state territory. I'm very happy to be back in Indiana. Before Tyson, my entire career was in Indiana in agricultural law and policy. I did a lot of work with farmers and ag organizations throughout the state. We're really excited about this potential project. You know, Tyson Foods has a global footprint. We're looking at opportunities all over the world, and we're excited about the potential to have one here in Southern Indiana.
Thank you.
Mike, let me just say a few things before we let these guys go through the project itself. But you know, DuBois County has a very strong agricultural background, very strong agricultural presence. Wabash Valley Produce and Wabash Valley Foods are part of that process. They have, you know, huge connections all throughout the county. They have a long history of, you know, it was originated in DuBois County. It's continued to grow in DuBois County. This is a significant opportunity, you know, for our agricultural community to grow further. As you'll hear, this is a national scale project to come into a part of our county that doesn't always get the same opportunities in the DuBois area that maybe other parts of our county does. And also from a diversification standpoint, this is just a tremendous opportunity for our county to continue to grow in a way that it doesn't always get a chance to grow in this investment. So this is really kind of a hometown advantage. You'll hear that Wabash Valley has significant operations, you know, in Illinois and in Ohio. So they clearly want to be here. They're working, you know, to bring this project here, and this is a huge step forward for them to see this project realized in Indiana. So with that, I'll just Andy say.
We're kind of old-fashioned, so I have hard copies for everybody for the presentation. I think I've had too many times where the projector didn't work. Or there was something else.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay, so our business, you know, Wabash Valley, we're an egg products company. We were founded in 1964 by my grandfather, Jerry Sager. We're headquartered in DuBois. Privately owned and managed by the second and third generations of the Sager family. We've still got 3 of the second generation involved. Ted oversees our turkey operation, Far Best Foods, and Roger and Scott are the co-CEOs of our egg business. And then I've lost track, but we've got at least 5 or 6 back in the 3rd generation and always looking to grow. So goal is to continue to stay family owned and private and continue to grow in that fashion as long as we can. We're a leading supplier of liquid, frozen, dried, and value-added egg products to numerous Fortune 500 customers and brands. We work with the who's who of food companies really all over the country, and many of whom have global operations. Probably one of the things that distinguishes us, we do not supply shell eggs. So we used to be in the carton shell egg business back when I was in high school and early college working at the plant. We did a lot of carton shell eggs. We don't supply any shell eggs anymore. We've gotten into the value-added world. So everything that comes out of our operations is in some form of egg product or value-added format. Very much value long-term relationships, and we've grown alongside our key clients by focusing on quality, service, flexibility, consistency, and risk mitigation. Many of the customers that we serve have literally been customers of ours for 40 or 50 plus years, and we've really grown as they've grown. We process currently a little over 220 million pounds of egg products across our operation. Those would be conventional and cage-free. Almost everything is pasteurized. So it would be whole egg, which is just a liquefied, frozen, or dried shell egg. And a lot of the applications for whole egg would be like bakery products. So breakfast brands, breakfast products, those types. Egg whites, think egg substitutes like egg beaters, those type of products. Or think like egg patties, scrambled eggs, or increasingly now protein bars, protein shakes. You know, when you think egg whites, you think protein. Egg yolks, mayonnaise, salad dressings, ice cream. And then a lot of specialty blends. We'll blend salt, we'll blend sugar, we'll blend other ingredients, you know, for the products. We sell those products anywhere from 48,000 pound bulk tankers of liquid all the way down to a 4-ounce egg cup that we actually supply to Tyson for their Jimmy Dean Simple Scrambles brand that has to last 125 days and is aseptically processed to extend shelf life. So any type of format of egg product or any format of egg product, you know, we pretty much do across our business. We have invested well over $100 million in recent years to modernize our operations and to position the company for future growth. And that would be like technology, robotics, automation, all the way back to the farms and the feed mills. New cage-free farms. We have cage-free laying hens now in Illinois, Indiana, and are underway with some cage-free projects in Ohio, and really upgrades across our business. About 450 employees across the whole operation, and a little over 300 of those are here in DuBois, here in Southern Indiana. If you look at the next slide, this just gives you an idea. You know, some people have an impression of what it means to be in an egg business. As Amy got to see today, you know, you come into our plants, we're operating state-of-the-art food plants. We've come a long way over the years. And so we view that as a big advantage relative to our competition. And so this gives you an idea of some of the robotics automation that we have inside the plants. And if any of you have ever been to our farms from the vicinity, we've been trying to keep people away from the farms with biosecurity, with bird flu and all of that. But farms themselves have come a long, long way, you know, over time in addition to the plants. In terms of our operation, on the next slide, we operate 3 large-scale breaking plants in DuBois, Indiana, Farina, Illinois, and Zanesville, Ohio. Certainly one of our competitive advantages is that we operate in 3 states with vertically integrated operations. And so all of those plants produce similar products, you know, and so when you're dealing with customers like McDonald's and those folks, one of their very first questions at Tyson would be, how can you guarantee me I'm going to have product, particularly if you're an exclusive supplier, 100% supplier. And so we've spread out our company. We've put in place redundant equipment. We're producing liquid eggs at all 3 plants. We do some specialty products at one plant or the other, like the cups will come out of DuBois. We do dried or powdered egg products out of Ohio. but a lot of the larger scale products we have redundancy with, which gives us a lot of flexibility. And fortunately, we haven't needed it. We haven't lost a bird due to bird flu and the disease. It's been phenomenal what the team has done. But in the event of a hazard, we have other plants that can back up an affected operation. So we're vertically integrated. We own our own pullet and layer housing, our own feed manufacturing, and our own transportation. So basically, we buy the chicks when they're a day old. We don't operate our own hatchery. And everything that happens to that product up to the point where the driver takes it to our customer's plant is done by us. So we can control all of the aspects of quality. We control on-time deliveries, so on and so forth. We currently own and contract a little over 6 million laying hens across the Midwest. About 1.5 million of those laying hens are cage-free. That's certainly a trend in our market, and we expect that to continue. We've been either building new or remodeling cage-free operations almost every year right now, which is a tremendous capital investment into itself. We have cage-free projects going on right now in all three of our states. We're doing some houses in DuBois, we're doing a new house in Illinois, and we've got a couple of houses over in Ohio. All of the laying hens, and this is important to our customers, have the highest level of certification that's offered for that type of laying hen. So our conventional laying hens are 100% UEP animal care certified, and our cage-free laying hens are all American Humane and UEP dual certified, which, as I said, is important for a lot of the premium brands that we serve. And then last but definitely not least, and something my grandfather was fanatical about, we operate an offline business. And what that means is that there's two types of business models in the egg world. One is called an inline model. And that's where you have the farm, the plant, the feed mill, literally everything on one site. You know, it may be a mega farm. You may have millions of birds on that site. It's a wonderfully efficient model. You know, from a pricing standpoint, the problem is you have a fire, you have a storm, or you lose one bird due to bird flu. You're shut down on that site for a long time. You're out of business. And so what we've done, not necessarily back in the early days due to bird flu, but my grandfather was always very focused on disease as it related to laying hens or turkeys. We spread out our business. So we operate in general smaller farms than our competition. We've got them spread across 3 states. We're willing to pay the extra dollars to transport eggs and egg products and feed and all of that across them. It allows us to stay in business and to have a risk mitigation and a continuity plan that has served us very well. As I mentioned in the past, 2 or 3 bird flu outbreaks, which we're all very familiar with in this area, unfortunately, we haven't lost any laying hens. And so we've gotten a lot of credit within the industry and credit with our customers as a result of that. So why are we here today? What's the opportunity in front of us? Well, we've recently formed a new company, Wabash Valley Foods LLC, and we've signed a long-term contract with our customer partner, Tyson, to supply additional value-added egg products for the Jimmy Dean breakfast brand, which is far and away, at retail, the largest brand for breakfast products there is. We couldn't have a better customer partner for this opportunity. And this really represents a growth opportunity for us that doesn't come along hardly ever, and provides us an opportunity to get into the business of food products, okay, and to extend what we're doing today. And, I make no bones about it, as I've talked to the group. We want this business to be headquartered in DuBois, right next to our existing headquarters for Wabash Valley Produce. And so the plan is to build a new approximately 86,000 square foot plant that'll produce egg patties, scrambled eggs, potentially other value-added egg products, other cooked egg products in the future. And really what it does is it extends our existing lines. So today we're liquid, we're frozen, we're dried, we're extended shelf life. This gets us into the cook space. And if you know anything about our family or our business or how we've operated, we've always been a customer-led business. We've always done projects in partnership with customers. We're not really good at doing new ventures, on our own. We've always looked for partners. And so the estimated capital cost for the project is $63 million. We would initially look to hire 31 new employees at the new plant. I think that's a conservative figure, which will be designed to be highly automated and will leverage as much technology as possible and have significant capacity for future growth. salaries, wages, and benefits for the new employees will certainly be highly attractive and competitive for our area. We'd like to start construction yesterday, as soon as possible. Once we know we have a reasonable kind of set of incentives in place. The target completion for the new plant is October of 2024. Tyson would like us to be supplying product as soon as we can. We currently own hundreds of acres in Farina, right next to our processing plant there. We've made some very significant cage-free investments over there and have had a lot of state support and local support from the county and state over there, which has been great for that project. Obviously, we're in Ohio, but we want to be here, and here's why. Back in early 22, we bought the former IFI wood manufacturing plant that's right across the street from us. We've been trying to buy that plant for a million years, and finally had an opportunity where we convinced those folks with the work that they were already doing here in Jasper that the time was right. And so we have a site. When we initially purchased the site, we were looking at doing some drying or expanding our breaking capacity. We have a lot of things on the table, but we think that site is absolutely set cut for this project. We have preserved and upgraded about 54,000 square feet on that site that we're going to hold on to. The rest has all been demolished. It was well over 100 years old, so on and so forth. And we've been basically prepping that site for a food opportunity. The goal would be to add 32,000 square feet of new construction, which is primarily freezer space. And what we'd end up with, we think, is a one-of-its-kind plant with about 86,000 square feet, and certainly would fit the mold of a specialty food manufacturing plant. Why that site? Well, we love it here. It leverages our existing management infrastructure. We've got a water treatment facility right there across the street where we currently pre-treat water today. Before we send it back to the local utilities, we're going to expand that water treatment plant as part of this project. And it provides sustainability and transportation savings. And without getting into too much detail, we basically are able to do what we do for our egg cups today in DuBois, and that is we can pipe the egg across the street to this new plant from our existing breaking plant, which cuts out all the transportation. Today, we send this plant all over the country to folks who cook it or add value or so on and so forth. In this way, we can basically send it directly over to that new plant, and from a sustainability standpoint, that's hugely attractive, to a lot of our customers who are looking at ways, to do things in an environmental friendly way, so on and so forth. And so the next slide gives you a little bit of a picture. So this is what the site looked like when we purchased it. That was kind of the existing IFI plant. A lot of this is the portion that's been torn down. What we've preserved is some office space right here that would be upgraded and stay as office space. And then a large area here that was formerly part of the manufacturing plant it was a more modern, I think it was constructed maybe in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It is a newer construction area, if you will. And then this gives you an idea of what this will look like. All of this in back is the new construction, and every square foot will be completely renovated and upgraded. And then the last slide, I'll wrap up just with sort of the highlights of the project. $63 million of capital investment, 31 new jobs, certainly attractive wages and benefits. The 31 new jobs, I understand, is not an eye-popping number. I mean, I was in front of the group in Knox County when we were building our turkey plant over there, and we were looking to hire 350 folks on the first shift. That's a much different business. The egg products business lends itself very well to automation. But I think the way we look at this as a family is we got 300 jobs today in DuBois. If we're able to do this, the protection that provides, we're committed to the area. This furthers our commitment to the area. And the other piece of this that I haven't captured in this, just because we like to be conservative, but there is definitely downstream impacts for this project. Okay, when you look at our layer and our pullet and our feed and our egg processing and transportation operations, for instance would be, Tyson is wanting us to deliver all of this product. Well, that's going to require us to buy new trucks, hire new drivers, all that. Those numbers aren't in this project. We've not historically ever come for this group looking for abatements. It's not how we operate. But in this case, it's such a large project. And, you know, I think on the incentive side, I don't mind saying these incentives are going to pass through to Tyson. It's very similar to our Turkey project in the way we've structured this. This will allow us to provide them product at a more competitive cost, which I think is going to just lead to more growth in the future. And that's how we've structured this contract and pricing and so on and so forth. From an economic diversification standpoint, which I know is important for our area, you know, being myself involved in a lot of economic development efforts, it'll be one of few, if any, specialty food manufacturing plants, you know, in this area. And it would be one of very few plants of this type in the country. There's only a couple of companies out there that do this today, you know, and each of them have a handful of plants, but there's not many plants that would look like this in terms of the cooked egg world, I guess I would call it, or value-added egg world. Our intention would certainly be to work with several Du Bois County contractors. These are groups we've worked with even when we've done projects in Illinois and Ohio. You know, it's a loyal group that's been with us forever. We would see those contracts exceeding $10 million for this project. And our total spend with Indiana-based contractors would definitely exceed $40 million. The only pieces that would not be Du Bois County or Indiana-based would be specialty pieces of equipment, you know, where you can only acquire from certain areas. The rest of the project is all local. It'll definitely require growth and modernization and a capacity increase for our wastewater treatment plant, which already exists in Du Bois. That would be a combination of building upgrades and equipment upgrades. And then a couple of our utilities have told us they're fine, no issues, but two of our utilities, as we conducted our preliminary due diligence, Patoka Water and Sewer and Du Bois Water, we're essentially at capacity with both of those groups in our existing business today. So anything that we want to do to grow in Du Bois is going to require expansion. So they were already looking at that even before we put this project potentially in front of them. This just accelerates it. And so they're on their own, you know, they have their own plans. They're looking for, we've helped them as we could, but they're looking for state-based incentives or low-cost financing programs and all of that. And we've been in contact with both groups, you know, about the potential for this. And I guess last, and probably perhaps the most important piece of this, the partnership with Tyson and the Jimmy Dean breakfast brand, and just what that does for the credibility, you know, of this project and allowing it to happen. So, you know, I'll certainly, Grant, myself, and Murray will certainly be available to answer questions, and Amy as well. But from a family perspective, we're tremendously excited about the project. We love doing business in Du Bois County and in the state of Indiana, and appreciate all the support that we have. There's no way things like this would be possible, you know, without our employees broadly across the business. And, you know, certainly there's a number of states, obviously, in areas where we work that would like this project, but we think it would make a lot of sense to do it right here. So, thank you.
Does Amy want to say anything here before we have questions?
Sure.
Yeah, I would just echo what Mr. Sager said. We are also excited about the project and excited about the potential here in Indiana. It makes a lot of sense for a number of different reasons, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thanks for,
Thank
so I'll open it up to the council here. If, you know, before we get into the, you know, abatement process here. Yeah, any general questions on it for Andy or any of them?
Just what the mix of those different types of jobs, the 31 that you proposed, what those might consist of, what, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think, hang on here just a second. Meredith, that's a good question. I think we provided a detailed schedule as part of the application.
Okay, that's my fault.
No, you're good. There's a lot in the application. Grant and Murray worked really hard on that application. They did all the heavy lifting. Give me 1 second. Grant, do you remember what attachment this is? Yeah, I've got it right here. Okay, so I'll just run through them because it won't take long. A general manager, an assistant plant manager, office and purchasing, quality manager, quality tech that would actually be on the floor, a lab tech. So we operate USDA accredited labs in all of our plants, and we do all of our own microbiology testing on all of our products and provide our customers a C of A along with the loads before we deliver. So we do all of that in-house. That would be the reason for a lab position. Maintenance manager, critical position, maintenance tech, a maintenance operator, a pasteurizer operator, a couple of blender operators, a couple of oven room operators, a couple of freezer room monitors, 2 scrambled egg line operators, 4 packaging positions, a material handler / shipping / receiving supervisor, sanitation supervisor, and then 7 additional sanitation and janitorial positions. Obviously, in the business where we operate, CIP and clean and process and everything that has to do with completely sanitizing the plant, every evening before the next day's production over the weekend, those are absolutely critical. Like non-starters to take any shortcuts, in those areas. So it's a good blend, Meredith, of new salary, positions and high wage positions, and we certainly hope that would grow, if we're able to do this the right way and get off to a really good start.
Any other questions?
Not exactly questions, maybe comment. Typically, I'm not a fan of doing abatements willy-nilly, and there's places where they make sense, places where they don't. But I think this is a place that makes sense, in my opinion. You were not just providing lip service when you said that as many construction jobs will be locally. I know enough from being out in the industry and doing things that you utilize a lot of local contractors. You can name them, and I know what they are. So that I think is one thing that's really important that you're doing for that. And it's not lost on me the community giving that the family has done for a long time. I think those are 2 things that tip the scales for me to make this where this makes all the sense in the world to do. What would be my thoughts on that?
I appreciate that, Gerald. I think that our family would appreciate that, those comments. We care a lot about the communities where we operate. It's not just Du Bois County. I would hope you would hear the same things, across our turkey operations and across our egg operations. We care a lot about the people. We care a lot about the communities where we do business. And from a contractor standpoint, and we've convinced Tyson of this as well, we've built a lot of confidence with the local group with projects that we've executed in the past. And a lot of the local names you're referring to were also integral in our liquid egg cup project for Simple Scrambles that we did about 5 or 6 years ago with Tyson. And we won Tyson's Global Ingredient Supplier of the Year for the kind of launch and the effectiveness of that project. So we've taken those folks to other states with us, and certainly, as I said, it's not lip service. Our full intention, and we did list some of the names in the application, our full intention will be to work with all these folks in this project.
People don't realize the quality of craftsmanship in whatever industry you talk about that we have here locally that most people just take for granted. We don't really.
Good point. Yeah, and I think we all second that emotion here on that, what the Sager family does for the whole. So, otherwise, any other questions or comments? Otherwise, well, Lynn, would you maybe go through the abatement
Sure.
process?
All right, so the abatement committee, we reviewed both of the applications on the real and the personal. And we'll start with the real property abatement first. Our scoring for the new investment, we gave 30 out of 30 points. For new employment, again, they had 30 full-time and 1 part-time, so we scored 23. The new employment wage level, we figured an average, and we came up with 27 points. The targeted business bonus points, obviously as a specialty food manufacturing, we gave them 5 points out of 5. Use of existing vacant structure, we gave them 8 points out of 10. Use of local suppliers and contractors in project, we gave a 10 out of 10. Offers tuition reimbursement, continuing ed, clean and safe workplace, or incentives to move to Du Bois County, we gave a 2. And the years of operation in the county were based on 10 plus, and that was 5 out of 5. So the total scoring points come to 110.
And then why don't you, I want to touch on, as far as what you brought up, Darrell, I think we figured $10 million in local construction. You just, with companies in Du Bois County. I think the other thing, and the real property was $24 million. So, so then why don't you go through the percentages,
Okay,
what
sure.
that qualified for?
Okay, so based on the point score, the applicant will be eligible for tax abatement on the following schedule. Year 1, 100%. Year 2, 95%. Year 3, 85%. Year 4, 75%. Year 5, 65%. Year 6, 55%. Year 7, 45%. Year 8, 35%. Year 9, 25%. And year 10 would be 10%.
So then I'll open it again up to any questions on the abatement committee's results on that's real property. So we basically, what had passed the council or what we had passed back in 2022 or whatever it was, 2021, I think, this was, we went by those guidelines when we had this committee meeting. So that being said, that part of this, what she's got, what Lynn's got is going to be part of this document if it's acceptable to the council. So if there's no questions, we'll go on to the personal property.
Okay, personal property abatement. Category on new investment, 30 points out of 30. New employment would be the 30 full-time and 1 part-time, 23 points. The new employment wage level, again, we gave them 27 points. Targeted business bonus points for the specialty food manufacturing, we gave 5 points. Use of existing vacant structure for personal property really isn't applicable, so we gave 0. Use of local suppliers and contractors, we gave 0. Offers the tuition reimbursement, continuing ed, clean and safe workplace, or incentives to move to Du Bois County, we gave them 2 points. And years of operation in the county, 10 plus years, 5 points. So the total points for the personal property abatement came to 92 points. And then based on that point score, the applicant will be eligible for the tax abatement on the following schedule. Year 1, 100%. Year 2, 80%. Year 3, 60%. Year 4, 40%. And year 5, 20%.
Okay, that again is the best that we can give as a county, the way we got, our ordinance set up at this point. $39 million worth of new investment in personal property. And that's really basically it. So that again will be part of this declaratory agreement. I don't know, I think Chris will open up the questions here again on the personal property. Otherwise, I think some of you, I sent this out, this resolution, declaratory resolution designating a portion of Du Bois County, Indiana as an economic revitalization area. Resolution number 2023-06 for real and personal property tax abatement. And what I was wanting to do here is just hit on the highlights of what's in there since, I read it a couple times, but anyway, it's in, it's Harbison Township in Du Bois County. It's renovating in a vacant a 53,880 square foot building. It's 32,250 square feet of primarily used of new construction, primarily used for freezer space. It's a $24 million total real property investment and a $39 million personal property. So we're asking, or what they're asking for is 10-year real property tax deduction period and a 5-year personal property deduction as per the schedules that Lynn just went through. Wabash Valley has further requested that the real property be designated as an economic revitalization area, an ERA, for the purposes of permitting such deductions, and that's, kind of set up by state code, Indiana code. So, going on here, the application is from Wabash Valley Foods LLC. The council has considered the following factors according to our abatement and the Indiana code is investment in real and personal property under the project, full-time equivalent jobs to be created, and wages for new employees. Again, we went through all that, but that's part of this agreement. And then finally, so the real property as part of the project is for 10 years, and the personal property for proposed installation of manufacturing equipment will be for 5 years. So we got a total real property and personal property of $63 million. And after this, if we approve this, we will we'll be setting up a meeting on June 19th at 4:30 to hear any remonstration or objection, and then we'll take final action at that time. So we just sign this agreement today, and then we would get final approval on the 19th of June. So any questions there? Any more for otherwise I'll entertain a motion to accept this agreement, resolution number 2023-06.
Make that motion to accept.
Okay, Ryan has made a motion. And
Something like that.
we have a second from Meredith. Any more discussion or questions? Otherwise, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. So that was simple.
Thank you for your time, thank you for support. These kind of projects don't happen without a lot of help from the communities. We appreciate you taking time today to come into this meeting and to be here. This is a huge opportunity for Du Bois County, and to have a specialty food piece like this in our backyard, and a long-term investment, as Andy mentioned. They spent a lot of time in the application, and we got a lot of help from Lynn and Sandy too, and Mike, thank you for making this easier. There's just been a lot of planning, and one thing Andy didn't mention is that, Wabash Valley has had a test piece on this, so they've spent a couple of years getting up to this point, getting up to this thing. So there's been a lot of time and effort to get there, and a lot of discussions with Tyson to make this happen, and if not for their vote of confidence into what Wabash Valley can do, we wouldn't be here today. So we're resting on the quality and people and all the people that help support work at Wabash Valley every day to deliver the feed, raise the chickens, and break 5 million eggs.
No doubt about it.
It's a lot of work, a lot of peace. We're only seeing the surface of that, but there's been a lot of giving back, and this certainly is Du Bois County giving back to make sure that this program and project is successful. So we'll see you on the 19th.
Okay, well, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. No problem. Thank you. Simon, thank you very much. And thanks for your comments. I really appreciate
And Mike, we'll work with Greg to get the notices out, those pieces, and the hearing notices out too. So
Okay,
it's a little more complicated now because of the way the Herald operates, but But we'll get it in the Ferdinand News and get it in the Herald and, get it out, so
Thanks again for considering Du Bois County. That's the great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.
I'll send copies. Send a copy of the signed resolution. Or can I get that?
Probably Lynn, but.
Okay, okay, thanks. Lynn.
All right.
All right, see you.
Go ahead. I said I'm going.
I'm gonna do that.
One way or the other, so.
No one's gonna come up to French Lick and shake any dice?
I never heard about this.
Oh, is that tonight?
It was sent by the Indiana,
I don't think I ever got that.
yeah, it was sent by these guys.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Hey, man, I think we got a meeting yet to adjourn, don't we, here?
Well, wait a minute.
You're still in session.
Let's do it.
I'll make a motion to
Do you have the resolution?
No, we're passing it.
It's coming. Daryl's thawing it up.
Yeah.
I held it, otherwise we'll lose half of
Back to the rest of them there.
So the next meeting will be, your regular meeting will start with the public hearing for this confirmatory resolution.
Regular council meeting.
It's at your regular meeting. The first item is this item at 4:30, and then we'll proceed into your regular meeting.
And that'll be a public hearing if there's any
If any,
questions,
yes, they
comments.
will provide notice to the papers that people can come if they want to
Okay.
make comment on it.
Bill made that paper comment. Is there a state law that you're still having to advertise to them? Do you think that'll ever get overturned?
Good luck. They've been trying to do that for a while,
Yeah, you think?
but the papers and stuff, they want that dollar.
Sure.
And since we have more than one paper in the county, we have to advertise on at least two.
Okay.
Okay. No other business?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I'll second it.
Sonia seconded, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Close the special meeting.
It's a lot of eggs.
Great one for me.
Oh, of course, you got it. I'm gone all week. I'm on vacation.